We're live. Hi everybody, my name is Lee Noel. I am the resident seminarian for the summer. I come to Gillette by way of Sioux City, Iowa, as my hometown, town in northwest Iowa, where I had the privilege of growing up. I am the oldest of three. I have two younger brothers, so I'm 28 years old. My middle brother Drew is 26. He's a veterinarian back in Carroll, Iowa, a smaller town than Sioux City. My youngest brother is Lewis. He's 24, and he flew the coop. He works down in Houston at a 3D printing company, a small company that he's able to do some tech advisory for their 3D printers. So, like I mentioned, I'm the resident seminarian for the summer. I get to help out around St. Matthew's and the three mission parishes. Father Cliff and Father Bryce both took me under their wing for the summer, starting this past Friday. Father Bryce took me to a branding and then showed me the three different mission parishes, and we had a blast. It was a great way to start off my summer here in Gillette. I'll be here for all of June and July. I mentioned that I grew up in Sioux City, Iowa. I really loved playing sports growing up. I went to Catholic schools. My brothers and I all went to Catholic schools. So I was born and raised Catholic. But I really hadn't gone much more deeply in my faith other than the service level, going to Mass on Sundays, most Sundays. Sometimes we would have travel baseball or hockey. I'm ashamed to admit that would come up, unfortunately. And our parents would make it a priority to pray with us at dinner and before we went to bed. But other than that, my discernment path of the seminary life is more recent than it was in my childhood. I went to Creighton University for my undergrad. I studied environmental science there. I'd gotten a little frustrated with the cutthroatedness and the competitiveness of the pre-medicine track that I was on, and I just wanted to hang outside and be with fun people who wanted to explore nature and discover the environment. So I started following that track a little bit and was blown away by the beauty that we would encounter on a daily basis. That kind of drew me to Wyoming. My aunt and uncle lived and worked at the University of Wyoming. My uncle knew that I wanted to maybe continue some schooling instead of going to work right after graduation. So he invited me to come check out the University of Wyoming. So I spent senior year spring break in Laramie and got really excited about being there. I'm pretty sure I was the only applicant for my program at graduate school at the University of Wyoming. I was able to study entomology there. And the program had no decision other than to accept me because I was pretty sure I was the only student that was signed up. So I studied grasshoppers and biopesticide research with them for 2 years. When I was in Laramie, I kind of wanted to reinvent myself. I had gotten a little burned out by the culture of college that really kind of drew me away from the Catholic Church a little bit and got me focused on areas of my life that I wasn't really proud of, and I knew that it wasn't leading me to Christ eternally. So when I got to Laramie, I found my niche at the Newman Center there. The students were my age, they were fun to be around, and they were pursuing Jesus. They were all able to draw me into this relationship with him. It all started really making sense to me when I went on a retreat for the first time ever. And I was so mad. They took my phone, they took my watch. They didn't want us to have any contact with the outside world. They really want us to dive in deeply to hopefully this encounter with Jesus. And I was like, I'm not going to like this at all. This is so dumb. And lo and behold, I was literally almost blown away off the mountaintop when we had our retreat during reconciliation. I was able to let go of so many things that had become a real burden on my soul. And when I did that, the golden leaves were just whipping past my face. There was a warm sunshine breeze that was going past me. And I felt this actual wave of joy come through me. And my life has not been the same since. I'm kind of a greedy guy. I wanted more of that love and that joyful feeling. And then I also realized I wanted to give that to other people. So I got more involved in the Newman Center. I felt really good about being able to talk with people, not only students, but older parishioners at the nursing home. I met families. We were able to spend time at the local nursing home doing visits to the sick and bringing them the Eucharist and seeing their passion for Catholicism and the Church really got me excited to dive more deeply into my faith. Through those opportunities, I continued to think to myself, what did I think God was calling me to do? And it became more clear that my passion was to be involved in the church, as well as to enter into a relationship with others and serve them, and through that allow God in the middle of that hopefully serve me, as well as being out into the community to bring Christ to others and to bring the Eucharist into community with everybody. So, to make a long story short, I worked in northern Colorado in Fort Collins for 2 years and still felt like something was missing in my heart. I really wanted to continue to explore possibilities of seminary, and I was able to stay in touch with the Diocese of Cheyenne, since that's where I had a lot of good formation, prayer, and guidance from priests really take place. I started to develop some roots in the culture of Wyoming and really felt excited to explore more of seminary with the Diocese of Cheyenne. So I just finished my first year of seminary, and we attended Mundelein Seminary, which is in northern Illinois, about 40 miles north of Chicago. We studied philosophy, and I was just overjoyed at the privilege of being there to really dive more deeply into a time of silence, a time of prayer, and a scheduled expectation as a seminarian of being around Christ and being in the sacraments. We had adoration, Mass, reconciliation available so often. And now seeing this in the time of our pandemic, when things are not as available, but now slowly getting back to normal, it's really made a difference in my life to see how much that impacts the soul. And I had a really great time, get to know young men there from all across the country, be inspired to take those next steps to try and pursue Christ and pursue holiness, as well as being around faculty and staff, men and women who were calling me to just open up more fully and be aware of where Christ may be calling me in my life. So one of those processes, or one of the steps in the process, is to take a time for a summer, a couple months, to be assigned at a parish and really put on the full garb, almost full garb of a priest, and see what it's like to be in a church and see the livingness, the aliveness, and the inner workings of a parish. So it's really, really a joy to be here, and I'm looking forward to the summer ahead and to more fully explain my story, but as well as hear the stories of everybody else and meeting the good people of Gillette. It's already been a great time here, and I'm excited to learn more. Thanks, everybody.